Rotweiler says postponing his whipping until the end. He's not too confident in his Sokar matchup with Fairy Peak. So yeah, there is £100 on the line for Fairy Peak and Rotweiler here. I've almost queued up Sokar first of all, but I didn't because I've caught myself making a mistake. Drop shot. Drop shot. Hockey Hoops Rumble Sokar. And aggregate score wins. So this shouldn't be too bad for Rotweiler if he doesn't have the best drop shot matchup. It's probably not going to be a disastrous scoreline, but on the other side of the coin, maybe this is a chance for him to start off with a small lead. He's swapped his decal from the Christmas decoration into something a little bit more standard. Let's see how he does against Fairy Peak, who's looking for early damage here. Doesn't get it. That's a good interception by Rotweiler, and we're getting close to ultra damage here. Fairy Peak moving in. He's actually given Rotweiler a freebie, but can Rotweiler hit the ball into the ground on a bounce? It doesn't look like he can. Fairy Peak is trying to do the same at the other end. Now, that was a slight misplay by Rotweiler. I reckon he had an opening to hit the ball into the ground, and so did Fairy. Both players missing opportunities to do damage. Rotweiler will, and that's a good start for him. He's going to be really glad that he got that, not just because Fairy Peak messed up and missed ultra damage on his half, but also he would have felt pretty bad if Fairy Peak just turned around and did ultra damage to the blue half of the field immediately after. Rotweiler could have done the same at the other end. So Fairy Peak's trying to get this into an open net. Look at that shot by Fairy, the only tile that's open, and he hits a shot on target. Spotted the opening. Rotweiler's going to take a bit more damage here, but he's got a chance to open a tile on Fairy's half, and he will. There's a single tile now open, actually two, from Fairy's end of the field, but Rotweiler's afraid to dodge off the wall. Both players are trying to be as careful as possible not to feather their boost in this matchup. With recharge boost on, you cannot afford to feather your boost, or you might just lose all of it. And Rotweiler looks to be the one who's struggling at the moment with his boost management. Fairy Peak 1-0, and there was just so much damage in this one area. It put Rotweiler in a rough spot. Good 50-50 by Fairy to set that one up. Witty Steel, thanks for the year of subbing, mate. I appreciate that.
I would never let my sub rank outrank my RL rank when you changed the badges. Took me over a year, but I finally made champ.
Oh, nice.
Here's to another year's worth of no's.
Well, I'm actually going to be changing the badges pretty soon on Twitch to make it a bit easier to outrank your rank in my chat, but that hasn't happened yet, so congratulations, Witty Seal. That's awesome. Dustin Ninja 16, thanks for the 3-month in a row Prime, and Proddy, thanks for the 16-month Prime. Spamwise Jamkey with the 15-month tier 1 as well. I think I've said thanks to everybody, but if I did forget you, then of course, as always, just let me or one of my mods know in my chat, and I'll be sure to shout you out. And I'll be keeping an eye on that between games. Well, I also forgot to say thanks to Connor Spear, who's just joined the YouTube channel. So thank you, Connor Spear, for becoming a member on YouTube. It's been a while since we had a new member on YT, so good to have you. Rotweiler's done a ton of damage to Fairy Peak's half of the field here, but Fairy Peak's still 1-0, and the longer Rotweiler goes without scoring, you expect Fairy Peak will just do more and more damage to his half of the field, making it more and more likely that Fairy Peak will get the next goal afterwards. That's a good bounce. Rotweiler hits the one open tile in this area after a strong 50-50. Safe angle to challenge there, though, so good stuff there for Rotweiler. Would a YouTube sub make you happy? Yeah, of course. I mean, YouTube sub and Twitch sub are they're different things. Oh, wow. Well, that's a disaster for Rotweiler. Clean reset, he's down 2-1. But yeah, YouTube member is the equivalent of a Twitch sub. Either one, you know, if you sub on YouTube, become a member on YouTube, follow on Twitch, whatever you do, I appreciate it, honestly. It doesn't, it doesn't matter if you don't have the money sub and all you can do is follow, then I still appreciate that. It's great to have all of you hanging out in chat and spamming a mega lol when people own goal. It really does make it more of a toxic experience. Oh no! Oh no! Rotweiler thought he was getting a bit of alone time with the ball, but Fairy Peaks got the perfect bounce. Look at that. One tile was open, just one, and that's the one the ball's dropped into. And to make matters worse, Rotweiler still hasn't done any damage to Fairy Peak's half of the field. It's just a clean reset yet again, with Fairy Peak getting the first tile of damage. The Rotweiler's got to be careful here. He doesn't want to concede any more goals. I believe that he understands what the format is here, that it is aggregate scoreline, but just since there is money on the line here, I'm going to double check after this game is done that he is aware of that. Because a 3-1 loss or a 4-1 loss, there is a difference in this format. Add all the scorelines together at the end, and that's how we determine who the winner is. If you get one back at least, that would be spot on for Rotweiler. He's almost ungoaled into half a tile that's open. Fairy Peak looking so strong. Don't think he knows where the open tile is. No, in fact, he thought it was one to the left of where it actually was. He has missed it. You know, one other thing I've thought about drop shot recently is how much more satisfying the ball sounds are. Listen. That little bounce. I like it so much more than the normal Rocket League sounds as Rotweiler tries to floor pinch this one in. Got a bit of an open net now, but Fairy Peak's 50-50s are just crushing him. 4-1. And it still looks like Fairy Peak is going to be the man to beat in Pentathlon. So well done. Rezzy, thanks for the 3-month prime. Welcome back. Epifron96, thanks for the 4-month tier 1 as well. Appreciate you guys. Can Rotweiler prevent Fairy from scoring another goal? The one thing that's looked on another level for Fairy in this matchup, the drop shot matchup, is his accuracy. He hasn't needed a lot of damage to get goals. He's just constantly hitting the ball back towards damaged areas and then towards exposed holes on the ground. Whereas Rotweiler seems to be more just aiming to get the ball past Fairy into anywhere in Fairy's half. Fairy's actually got the larger goal to aim at, even though he's already up 4-1. That bump might be conceding another goal for Rotweiler. Indeed it will be. Fairy Peak, with pristine drop shot play, takes a 4-goal lead. You know, I said that you really only expect to get 2, maybe 3 goals advantage in drop shot. Well, Fairy Peak's got a 4-goal advantage. Surely he can't get another one. He's tried to. Not done yet. But Rotweiler is going to have to work even harder than he perhaps anticipated from this point onwards. Now, Fairy Peak's got an open net to go for here. Is he going to try? It's only a single tile. He's tried to anticipate Rotweiler diving in. It might be Rotweiler just forcing the end of the match. And there it is. Rotweiler dropping 5-1 to Fairy Peak in the first round here. Let me just change the score so we can then change the mode. I better double check. Rotweiler, it's aggregate score. I forgot to ask if you were aware of that. Okay, he does know. Okay. The drop shot music is so ominous. Wait, I swear I changed the game mode there, did I not? I did, yeah, I did. I didn't bean that, but hey, Celtics beaned us all. Okay, round 2. Rotweiler losing by 4 goals already. You know, a loss in this second round would put him in such a bad spot. Because he's still got Soccer to come. Fairy Peaks arguably his best game mode. And the other worrying thing is that last time we watched Fairy Peak play a Pentathlon, he was crushing it in Rumble as well. He was very, very good at the Rumble power-ups. Just such a smart player all around. So hard to outplay in any situation. Rotweiler just escapes conceding early on. Fairy Peak was able to get it past him, courtesy of the ceiling. Is he going to try and do the same thing again? By dribbling it up into the ceiling, he's giving himself a chance to just run it round his opponent, force Rotweiler out of position. There's Rotweiler actually trying to do the same thing. And there's the ceiling shot landing by Rotweiler, and he's gone underneath Fairy Peak on the goal line. 1-0 Rotweiler. And that's a little bit of an unusual one. Great 50-50 on the landing, and Fairy Peak tried to dodge into this one. He's probably forgotten how to 50-50. Just briefly forgotten how to 50-50 in hockey, which is just by driving into the ball. Rotweiler showing us how not to do it by flipping over it. Fairy Peak looking for the bump, and he gets it. And I mean, from our perspective, we knew that that was coming, but Rotweiler, I bet you he did not have such a clear view. He's not sure what Fairy Peak is planning until the very last second, and it is going to be a tight game. Alright, so we do have a Pentathlon command. Thanks to whoever made that, that's helpful. So it's, yeah, drop shot, ice hockey, hoots, rumble, and yeah, total goals scored across all 5 modes is the winner. Well, there's got to be careful because that puck can sometimes just sneak its way into a goal despite the fact that it enters the box from a centering position, it sometimes just falls in. I don't know why, but just to be careful of that.
Johnny Boy _I in the Rocket League store.
I wish there was a Johnny Boy code in the Rocket League store. And there is not. So maybe Epic will get some creator codes in here. That'd be pretty nice, wouldn't it? Cheers to the 4-month Prime though, Lang49. Appreciate that. In the meantime, I'll look away for a split second, and a Fairy Peak scored. What did he do to get the ball past Rotweiler here? Oh, Rotweiler just completely beamed it. Okay, that makes sense. I was thinking, how did he get it past Rotweiler so efficiently? It's not easy to dribble people with the puck, it being so heavy. Fairy Peak's going to try to do that right now, and he will. Rotweiler out of boost, out of time, and he might be out of options very, very soon in how to come back here, because he's now trailing by 6 goals overall. The scoreline that you see in the bottom right of the screen there, the 5-1, is the current aggregate score after drop shot was played. Fairy Peak's not going to let up. He's just completely merciless. You see a lot of other players in the top tier of Rocket League who, once they get a 1 or 2 goal lead, right, okay. Once they get a 1 or 2 goal lead, they start to try fancy shots and go for maybe only aerial plays, but not Fairy Peak. He's just going to keep on being brutally accurate and put the ball in your net. It's so impressive to watch. Not only his ability, but his consistency. It's just in a class of his own. The Rotweiler is really struggling here. Fairy Peak goes over the top of him yet again, and does get one more touch on the puck. Is he going to get an open net? Yes, he is. Rotweiler's nowhere near, and it's 4-1 now. Just a 1 goal away from matching his scoreline that he managed to achieve in drop shot, which is already, I mean, you'd expect, like I said before, like maybe 2 or 1. I would expect a 1 or 2 goal difference from drop shot. That's what I would anticipate. And then for hoops, for hockey, I would be expecting maybe 2 or 3. But Fairy Peak's just gone ahead by 8 goals already. Now there is money on the line, so he does want to block that in. And there is just a drive into the ball kickoff strategy. Fairy Peak trying to floor pinch this. Pretty tough to floor pinch a puck if it is not lying flat. Rotweiler tries to get a dribble going. It's so hard to pop that ball up on top of your car or even steer it. It's not easy to accelerate the puck in almost any direction here. But Fairy Peak's trying to surprise Rotweiler, and somehow comes out of another 50-50 and scores a goal to make it 6-1. Fairy Peak is just giving Rotweiler no angles to play with. Rotweiler thought the Fairy Peak had beamed that one. Dives in and does not profit at all. Another kickoff goes in Fairy Peak's favour. That's my webcam. It's a Logitech C920, same as like every streamer on Twitch, pretty much. But hey, maybe we should upgrade that. Maybe we should get one of those webcams that all these fancy pants streamers use. You know, the actual cameras, where you can see the whole room in the background. So it's got focus and stuff like, or not autofocus. You have to set the focus. Yeah, I don't know about that. Doesn't suit my low production value at all. Like, Rotweiler's gonna get 1 goal back, and every goal helps. You know, like I said earlier, even though this game looks like it might be over as an individual entity, you don't have to look at it like that in the aggregate score format. Every goal matters. Rotweiler has to try come out with as many as possible while conceding as few as possible. Fairy Peak's going to make it 8-2, and now he's got a 10 goal advantage in the series yet again. Will I be at RLCS LAN? I'm not sure whether I'll be at RLCS LAN or not yet. I'm not 100% sure. Rotweiler turtling into that kickoff. He's tried to break the meta here as Fairy Peak tries to break Rotweiler's car for the 3rd time for a goal. Rotweiler hiding underneath the puck. He's got a good steering on the ball there, or the puck rather. If he can sit under it like that, you know, you can really start to manipulate the puck a lot more, but didn't have the boost to really play with. I was half expecting when Rotweiler was driving underneath the puck there, just carrying it on his head, for the puck to just randomly fly off the front of his car, which I believe is some sort of a accidental pinch mechanic that we saw from him earlier, where he's hitting the ball multiple times in a row off one bounce. And now another open net for Rotweiler. I think a side flip flick would have been a little bit better there. The small element of front flip that he had involved in that play was all that he needed to lose all the power. It's a 7-goal difference in hockey, making it an 11-goal difference after 2 rounds. Unless Fairy Peak can score another one here. It doesn't look likely. And there is the confirmation. Fairy Peak 9, Rotweiler 2. So that brings it, what is the total score at now? 14-3. Rotweiler, you need to step it up, mate. Fairy Peak's pretty good at all these random modes, it would seem. Let's see if this actually works. See, I've changed that. Yeah, it says hoops, so that should work. Let's give it a go. Is Rot famous or a pro? He's not a pro player. He's someone who at the start of this season, Season 10, was very high rated in the 1v1 ladder. So you probably saw him on a leaderboard if you ever looked. It's an open net miss for Rotweiler. Fairy Peak might be getting a freebie here, but now he's just missed the ball. So gift to either end of the field. Nobody feeling merciless just yet. Fairy Peak trying to put in the opening goal. It's Rotweiler with a couple of saves, but not enough saves. Fairy Peak just sat here, waited for Rotweiler to be finished touching the ball. He's aware that touch that Rotweiler's making is going to be really, really difficult to clear, so he just stays on the wall. And then when Rotweiler comes in for the second clear, Fairy Peak's looking to dunk on him. It's another open net for Rotweiler. This one is on target. Fairy Peak's going to save it just millimeters before it crosses the line. Still the best start that we've seen so far for Rotweiler. That's not a bad dunk, but it is off target. Fairy Peak still hanging on to his clean sheet. Yeah, Rotweiler's played on my stream a few times before and had pretty good results. He's beaten OSM, I believe, twice. I think he's beaten Ixo twice, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it just once? I don't know. But he's beaten OSM and Ixo before. I think, did he beat Monkey Moon, or was that someone else? He's had a couple of really good results actually this year. Looking very impressive. People were actually at a time calling out for him to take on Fairy Peak and maybe be the one to end Fairy Peak's crazy run of form in 1v1 show matches. But since then, Rotweiler's been focusing more on 3v3. He's trying to improve his 3v3 game so that he can maybe make a stab at RLRS in the future. But for now, he is, I think, a rank A player in the 3v3 Discord. That's I'm not 100% sure about that. He might be rank X. Have to go and double check. Rotweiler looking for a side flip shot. Fairy Peak is going to get back and sweep up the mess, take the boost as well. Now he's got Rotweiler in a bit of an awkward position, and he's blocking a lot of the saves, but Rotweiler does get one anyway. It's clever play though by Fairy. He's trying to make his car as big as possible, using the large side of the Batmobile hitbox just as a big paddle to get in the way of what Rotweiler's trying to do. And there's the second goal for Fairy. He's just stayed in offense for so long here, but that's because you don't have the same counter-attack threat in hoops as you do in other Rocket League game modes. You know, if you're overextending that far into the opposition corner in other Rocket League modes, you might concede at the other end of the field just by the other player running in an open net. But that doesn't really happen in hoops too often. It's much harder. It takes a bit longer to put the ball into that open net once you arrive. Bale5, thanks for the 8-month prime. I appreciate that, man. Tough off the wall save for Rotweiler. Fairy Peak's going to take his boost away. Makes you wonder if that boost grab strat is even valuable after seeing how much pressure Fairy Peak's able to exert, even though Rotweiler does get the save. To the air goes Fairy Peak. You don't see him air dribble much, but hoops is definitely the place to do it. If you think air dribble dunks are dangerous in a normal Rocket League game, try defending one against Fairy in the hoops arena. 4-0. And before anyone says, oh, come on, this is ridiculous. Why put Rotweiler against Fairy? How could he ever compete? Understand that Fairy Peak does this to pretty much everybody in Pentathlon. He's just so ridiculously good at every element of Rocket League. Ones, twos, threes, chaos, hoops, ice hockey, rumble, drop shot. Doesn't matter. Fairy Peak's probably going to beat you at it. As he puts in a 5th goal after a clutch save at the other end of the field. Rotweiler's just trying to get a goal, and that is proving to be much more difficult than perhaps anticipated. Oh, there we go! A little bit of help from the rim. It's kicked up a second time after Rotweiler's first pop here. And Fairy Peak did not see that coming. That little pop that the rim applied to the ball was enough to take him away from it. Scrub beat Fairy. Did Scrub beat him in a whole pentathlon? All I remember is that Fairy Peak went into their last match against Scrub with a big advantage, and then Scrub crushed Fairy in the soccer match, but I don't remember if it was enough to win the series. Was it? Somebody maybe check that on YouTube, because I don't remember what the final score was. I know that it was the closest pentathlon that Fairy's ever been a part of, courtesy of Scrub Killer. Rottweiler is going to take a second goal. This time it's off the wall shot, which he had to do a lot of correction on after his initial takeoff. Good little lean back and dodge to put that one on target. Fairy versus a #1 drop shot, ice hockey, hoops, rumble, and soccer players, a 5-part series. That would actually be pretty good. Just Fairy Peak taking them all on. See if he can just beat them all on on aggregate. I reckon he'd be in with a good chance. The reason being that rumble, ice hockey, hoops, drop shot, these aren't game modes with 1v1 ladders. They're all 3v3, or in hoops case 2v2 ladders. So the guys who are #1 they're #1 for 3v3 and 2v2 modes, not solo duels. In fact, we have had the #1 hoops player Nico has taken on OSM on my stream, and it was close, but OSM did get the win despite not being as experienced in hoops. Now that being said, OSM has had a couple of very impressive hoops performances on my stream, so he's definitely one of the better players at it, and he is a beast in 1v1. But yeah, when you put Fairy Peak against someone who's not an expert of 1v1 in an alternate game mode, I think he's probably just going to beat them even if they are a main for that game mode. It's only when you put teammates on the field that the mains for alternate game modes are going to be shining through and performing at their most impressive level. Fairy Peak's going to take a 6th goal here, surely. Rottweiler miles out of the play. Quick aerial by Fairy to secure the 3rd goal back in front. And that's careless by Rottweiler. He needs to think of this as the long game. And, you know, keeping his chances as realistic as possible when he arrives at the soccer, the rumble end of this format. That's really his job from this point onwards, because obviously he's going to go into those matches with a deficit in scoreline, but he knows he can pop off in soccer. Rumble is the one that's closest to soccer, perhaps, so he can definitely pop off in that. Fairy Peak's going to bump him and put in a 7th goal. And there's the fake kickoff by Rottweiler again, not really doing too much. I think out of all the kickoff strats that I've seen in hoops, the one that I think are the most successful, or the ones that are the most successful, are usually the ones involving going to the ball as fast as possible. So when you go for boost or leave the ball, I think it just gives your opponent too much of an advantage. Another pretty risky play by Rottweiler, but he's relying on his recovery and also the difficulty of this counter-attack to keep his own net safe. He's looking for that 5th goal. He wants to make this one closer before it's over. I don't know if it's meant to be. Rottweiler, with only 2 seconds left, has still got too much work to do. And Fairy Peak confirms another win in the series and another extension of his overall score. It's 21-7. Fairy Peak has outscored Rottweiler by 3 times the goals so far.
Cheers.
Oh wait, I forgot to change it. No!
I want to thank you for what you do for the RL community.
My mistake. Barside76, thanks for the 6-month of tier 1 subbing. I appreciate that a lot. And Austin, thanks for the 10-month prime as well, and the kind words. K-Dot versus OSM, who would win? That is a very interesting one. I don't know. I mean, stylistically, K-Dot in the past has done well against players who focus on shots and not as well against players who focus on flicks. So it really depends how well OSM can perform on the day. I did choose Rumble, right? Yeah, I did, of course. There's a little countdown in the bottom left. What am I talking about? Doesn't matter though. Fairy Peaks is just score a normie goal.
Fairy is the goat of ones at this point
And
with his
notice he's switching to Octane for
just the best
Rumble and Soccer by the looks of things. The goat, Fairy Peak, the goat of ones with his current streak in the lore games. I think Fairy Peak has to be considered the GOAT. You know, he wasn't really around for the season 1 of, or the first year of 12 Titans. Scrubkilla won that, but Fairy Peak wasn't really around back then to compete at that level, or he was still trying to get his name up there. But since then, Fairy Peak's just destroyed so many show matches, so many tournaments, so many other events that I think I have to call him the GOAT at ones. And he's got a ridiculous head-to-head record against Scrubkilla. Scrubkilla's beaten him 1 time. Fairy Peak's beaten Scrub, I think, about 10 times. So although Scrubkilla won 12 Titans Year 2 and Manfield Night 5K, I think that Fairy Peak, with his current record in the lore games and his individual record against Scrubkilla, could still be considered the GOAT. That's, you know, still debatable though. I think it's just Fairy. Scrubkilla is solid second with his Manfield Night 5K and his 12 Titans Year 2 win though. But yeah, what do you guys think? Type Fairy in chat if you think Fairy Peak is the GOAT of ones, and Scrub if you think Scrub is. It's definitely debatable. Definitely debatable. Cheers for 1,000 bits as well, Vacanis. Okay, so I think most people are saying Fairy in the chat. There's a couple of Scrubs in there. Rotweiler down by 2 goals already in Rumble. And Fairy Peak's going to swipe that one away from him just when Rotweiler thought he had an opening to score. Fairy Peak with the plunger. He's going to say, nope. Let me just bring that right back over here. And that's so frustrating for Rotweiler. He's just trailing even more goals. He doesn't want to get swept here. If he can even win 1 round, I think that would be feels good for him after how badly things have started off in this game mode. Who do you guys think would have the best chance against Fairy in Pentathlon? Nice little boot. Oh, Fairy with the counter boot. No! Just when you thought Rotweiler was going to catch a break, we're like, oh, very nice boot. Nope. Oh, poor Rotweiler. You just can't catch any luck right now.
Fairy versus Left. Fairy punishes mistakes. Left doesn't make mistakes.
Ah, okay.
Allow.
Fairy Peak versus Left. That would be an interesting one for sure. I know that they both hate playing on international servers though, so I don't know how fun that would be for the both of them. It's also in a pentathlon, you know. Would we do 2 games, 1 in EU, 1 in NA? Would it be a 10-round pentathlon? It's not a pentathlon anymore, it's a decathlon. Which is also another event, funnily enough, so it would make sense. It would be do it during LAN. See, during LAN though, players are usually focused on the LAN. Okay, what's Fairy Peak gonna do with the spikes? He's just staying on the ground, and Rotweiler's tried to pull him away, but it's just done nothing. And this is so smart by Fairy, because when you jump with the spikes, you become vulnerable to boots, magnets, plungers, and even the tornado can mess you up a little bit more. There's several things that hit you much harder when you jump with spikes, and the juking potential on the ground is, I think, just as good. This is something I've been noticing more recently, because I've been playing a bit more of the Rumble ranked game modes. Players who jump into the air with spikes cannot very often get completely screwed up. Now, that's not to say that you don't score when you jump into the air with spikes and go for air dribbles. Not at all. Okay, Fairy's got spikes here, but this time the boot of Rotweiler is going to be enough to get the goal. And he's keeping this one interesting for sure. What's my Rumble rank? I think right now I'm Champ 2 Div 3 or something. I did hit Champ 3 today. But yeah, back down to Champ 2. I think getting Grand Champion is just like, you just got to hit a good streak of luck, because it's a bit of a weird game mode. Like, I was playing some Rumble today and I ran into Bluey. Yep, that's right, Bluey from Barcelona. 2 games, and he was just like my rating. I was like, why is Bluey against me and the same rating as me? This doesn't make sense. So that was not the best for ranking up purposes. But that's because you know, if somebody goes into Rumble and they just win all their placement matches, they're probably going to get placed something like Champ 1 or 2 anyway. So it's pretty hard. Oh no, Rotweiler, what have you done? I think he was celebrating here. He probably thought that was on target, so he just used the grappling hook. And now he's realized that it wasn't on target. Fairy Peak's putting in a 7th goal. He's up by 3 yet again. But yeah, if you don't have a pre-made team in Rumble that are all the exact same points, which is also really hard to find because most of my friends who I play with who are all the same rank as me, we're all really different ranks in stuff like Rumble and Drop Shot and Hoops. So whenever we do play those game modes, oh, here comes the tornado air dribble by Fairy. Looks like the ball has fallen out of it, and Rotweiler's completely missed on the open net, but I think the tornado might have had a interference to that one, and that's good placement in the top corner with the follow-up. Rotweiler within 2. Can I read your cheer message? I will in a second here. What do I think about Justin versus Fairy 1v1? If you're talking about just a straight up 1v1, I think Justin would definitely have the ability to take a game. You know, if he can just pop off one game and really hit his shots that we know he can hit. There's no doubt that Justin's solo plays are enough to score on Fairy Peak, but the problem would be handling Fairy Peak's kickoff. And just handling his consistency. That might be the prettiest kickoff goal I've ever seen. Oh my days. What? Fairy Peak just sticks it straight in the corner at 95 kilometers an hour with an air roll shot. Almost no boost left. I mean, just us talking about it, you know, I think Justin would struggle with handling Fairy Peak's kickoffs and his pressure play after kickoffs, because even if you do save his kickoff shot, how are you going to deal with what he does afterwards? It starves you, blocks you from pretty much getting anything started. Oh no, Rotweiler, what are you doing? He thought he could start the magnet air dribble, but his magnets just ran out. You can see in the bottom right there, it's about to run out, but he didn't notice. And things are just going from bad to worse for Rotweiler. He's 5 goals down. One of the best kickoff goals we've ever seen, and now one of the best beans we've ever seen. Making Fairy Peak's lead even stronger. Reverse challenge from Fairy. He's half flipped through it, and now here comes the power up. It's another boot. I don't like Rotweiler's position for this. He's got the spikes, and it looks like it's going to be an open net anyway. Fairy Peak's trying to boot him by the looks of things. He's just going to run it into the open net, actually. No boot necessary. Oh, that's such a shame, Rotweiler. Rotweiler was in a really tough spot there anyway, because the boot is such a good counter to the spikes. Even if you do spike the ball, you can get kicked into the ceiling. And if you get booted away, there's no way to recover. The spikes are not helping you close the gap to the ball like many other power-ups would. Fairy Peak's trying to make this as one-sided as possible. Now he's got the magnet air dribble coming in. Rotweiler doesn't get the read on it, and it's the teleporter. There's no way that Rotweiler can really use this to his advantage, because if he swaps Fairy here, then he's just going to score on himself with the air dribble. 12-5, 7 goal difference. So this will make it a 21 goal difference going into the final round. Now, I said that Rotweiler is just going to try and keep it like feasible, but is that even possible? Okay, both players have haymakers. What's Rotweiler going to do with the few seconds he has, where he has the haymaker and Fairy Peak does not? Fairy Peak's going to have another power up in just a couple seconds here. Rotweiler just wants to clear this. Okay, so Fairy Peak decides to speed up Rotweiler. Rotweiler's punched in his own net, even though Rotweiler had a haymaker here and Fairy Peak did not. Fairy Peak's still able to force the misplay, just keeping the ball in unplayable positions. There was no way, no avenue for Rotweiler to boom that into Fairy Peak's half. Fairy Peak was completely in the way of him. There you have it. Fairy Peak 13-5, I believe. This is just outrageously impressive by Fairy. So he's on 34 now to 12. Okay, I'll tell Rotweiler he needs to win by I'll call it boot off. He needs to win by 23 goals. Are you serious? Because Fairy Peak's got the tiebreaker. He's already won 4 of the rounds, which means okay, you gotta win by 23 goals. Yeah, he's got to beat Fairy Peak in a normal 1v1 by 23 goals. Rotweiler says, okay, I think I can do that. Easy clap for Rotweiler. Oh no, what has he done? Oh man, this is so impossible. This would be the most impressive win in Rocket League history, hands down, if he can come back and win this. I don't think there's any way that you could argue with that statement. Beat Fairy Peak by 23 goals after he's just beaten you in every alternate sport game mode, whatever they're called, in the game, back to back to back to back. I don't know about that one. Would Fairy Peak beat me by 23? I think probably no. I think I could waste enough time to not lose by 23 goals to Fairy. I mean, he could beat me by 23, but I don't think he would. I think if me and Fairy Peak played 10 games, the average goal differential would probably be... it would probably be something like 8, I guess, based on some matches that I've had with top level 1s players in the past. Because I'm pretty good at wasting time when when I do get control of the ball. So that's something I've been pretty good at in the past. Full kickoff goals, yeah, I would definitely concede a bunch of kickoff goals, but 23 kickoff goals. That's the sort of score you'd expect between Fairy Peak and maybe someone who's basically someone who's platinum in 1v1. Yeah, that would be about the matchup you'd expect. I mean, this is going to be setting records, that's for sure. Fairy Peak's already up by 3. Rotweiler doesn't look like he's got the right mindset here to be taking down Fairy in a 1v1, which is not that surprising to me because he told me he's been practicing a lot of 3v3 recently, and his 1v1 play is definitely deteriorated as a result. But still, should really be able to come back and make this a close one. Doesn't look likely. Fairy Peak puts in a 4th goal. So now he just needs 27 goals to come back and get the W. It's no big deal. I'm so good at missing open nets. I reckon it would be more about, like, if I was trying to limit, or if I was, if that was the name of the game, to try and lose by the least amount possible, then I wouldn't even be trying to score, because kickoffs are really bad. So if you score in a 1v1 against a player who's like Fairy Peak, for example, you might just concede 3 kickoff goals in a row. So actually scoring is not a good idea. You just want to waste time, run the ball around the field, and try to play it as safe as possible. Fairy Peak's looking deadly right now. Rotweiler not able to keep up. Bronze versus bronze spectate. I don't know any bronze players, that's the issue. Nice little wave dash kickoff there by Rotweiler. Looks like he did have most of the goal covered when he got back into his half, but Fairy Peak is looking so good in the Octane. Ever since that 2-game in a row loss to Alpha 54 from Fairy Peak's Octane play, he really has looked impressive to me. Even in those games, I didn't think Fairy Peak was playing too badly. That was just, familiarity issues. Now that he's put in the extra hours in the Octane again, just looks so brutal. So deadly on the ground still. And I think just a faster version of his Batmobile self all around. Diamond 3 with unlimited boost versus Fairy Peak with normal boost, it wouldn't make a difference. We really would not make a difference. Like unlimited boost, normal boost, Diamond 3 is going to get absolutely destroyed by Fairy Peak. Even you could give unlimited boost to top 100 1v1 players and they'd still lose to Fairy Peak with normal boost. It doesn't matter that much to Fairy Peak because he's just going to win the kickoff the majority of the time, and then your unlimited boost is not going to help you get back fast enough to stop him from scoring 8 goals. This is an absolute, it's a slaughter. You're right, Ideal. It is. What can Rotweiler do to prevent Fairy Peak from dominating kickoffs and then just putting the ball in his net? That seems to be the biggest problem. Seems to be the question. And then you compare that to what happens when Rotweiler gets kickoff win. Fairy Peak just seems to know how to shut down all those plays and get right back in control. The time that we're looking at Fairy Peak controlling the play versus the time that Rotweiler's controlling the play is just like night and day. Rotweiler's almost had no chance at all. Now bear in mind, I did say that Rotweiler's been playing a lot more 3v3 recently and not much 1v1 in comparison to what he used to do, but he's still a top 100 1v1 player. He's still a force to be reckoned with. in the rank ladder. Not a free win by any means. But Fairy Peak's just on another level. He is looking in absolutely pristine top form. I don't think I've ever seen Fairy Peak look as clean, to be honest. There are players who are elevating their play and trying to reach his level. Flake's definitely the one who's been able to do that the most recently. But when it comes to competition, money on the line, Fairy Peak's just got that edge, the same sort of edge that Scrubkilla seemed to have in 1v1 tournaments. He's got another level that he can go to outside of ranked gameplay. So it'll need to be a lot of practice for your up-and-comers to get to that same sort of routine performance level. Jockstrap, thanks for the 33 months in a row. Holy cow, I think that's one off the max, if I'm not mistaken.
That every time Fairy is on stream allowed.
What, I say that he's the best player? That's because he is the best player every time he plays on stream, and I think he's still improving. This is the thing that I'm trying to highlight, is Fairy Peak hasn't peaked. He's actually still improving and becoming a better player every time we see him play. It's a little bit of a dribbling goal for Rotweiler. Fairy Peak just joining in on the dribble. Oh, he got one. He got one. Fairy Peak says nice one in the chat as well. He's such a nice guy. Fairy Peak. Even though Rotweiler literally made a profile picture with a bald Fairy Peak and changed to it for this match, it did not get inside Fairy Peak's head at all. Fairy Peak is dominant as ever. So what are we at now? 8 goal difference. So is it a plus 30 overall? Plus 30? That's like a 6 average. He's on average winning by 6 goals. Not the best play there by Fairy, but he is feeling pretty comfortable. This is one of the only times I've seen him start to ease off, maybe really feeling quite bad for his opponent, because you got to remember, usually when Fairy Peak destroys people, it's just in a best of 5. He'll just beat them 3 games in a row and then off he goes home to enjoy his money. But in this format, he just crushes people 5 games in a row, and it's just merciless, relentless. Every single game remembered as a goal tally, not just as a single point on the scoreboard. There, I think it is going to be. Is it 30 total? If the game finishes at 9-1, I think it is going to be 30. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, it is. I had to double check there because I didn't. Wait, is it more than 30? No, it isn't. It's 30. Yeah, 43 to 13. Yeah, I had to minimize my OBS so I couldn't see what the score was. Rotweiler says GG's, I don't know how to play ones anymore, lol. Yeah, Fairy Peak is
I don't know how to
pretty good at Pentathlon. Did I see Lethimer's messages earlier? No, I did not. Sorry if I ignored something. It was not intentional. I just can't read all my Twitch chat. It's moving quite quickly and I'm casting, so I don't know what I missed. Rotweiler down by 2 goals already. Fairy Peak's gonna swipe that one away from him just when Rotweiler thought he had an opening to score. Let me just bring that right back over here. Nice little boot. Oh, Fairy with the counter boot! No! Just when you thought Rotweiler was going to catch a break. Pretty much getting anything started. No, Rotweiler, what are you doing? You thought he could start the magnet air dribble, but his magnet's just ran out. You see the bottom right there, it's about to run out, but he didn't notice. Fairy Peak decides to speed up Rotweiler. Rotweiler's punching his own net. have it. Fairy Peak 13 to 5, I believe.